Hello, boys and girls. It's Miss Judy. It's so good to see you again. I'm so pleased to be back with you. I have so much fun meeting with you every week and reading books with you. I hope you enjoy the time together too. You know, this week when I was thinking about what book I was going to select just for you to read, I had an interesting thought. All of a sudden, I realized that a good many of the books that we've read together all share a common theme. They all share an idea together. For instance, if you remember, one of the first books we read was I Lost Something. And you may remember in I Lost Something, Emily pretended that she had lost something really important, and all the kids were concerned about her. They were worried that she was upset. They all gathered around her and tried to help her figure out what she had lost. They didn't realize that she was teasing them, that she was playing a joke on them, and she had lost her front tooth. But what was so interesting about this story is that all the kids were caring and kind and generous-hearted, and they wanted to help Emily. And then in the next book we read together, which was Don't Let Go, Jasmine was upset because she couldn't, the way her other friends could, she didn't know how to ride a two-wheeler. And Mom, who has such a kind heart and really cares and loves Jasmine so much, that she was sensitive enough to realize that it was really important for Jasmine to learn how to ride a two-wheeler. And so Mom, with a caring, kind heart, took a lot of time out of her own day to teach Jasmine how to ride a two-wheeler. And then in the book that we read last week, The Puppy, Kendra also shows what a kind, caring heart she has. When her Aunt Tanya asks if she would like to take care of the cute little puppy Ginger while Aunt Tanya is away, Kendra didn't realize how hard a job she was going to have taking care of Ginger. But because she has a kind, caring, generous heart, she took such good care of Ginger, even though Ginger was a real nuisance, was a real problem at times. So I thought for today, it would be really interesting if I found a book that was all about people being good and kind and caring and considerate of each other. And I found the perfect book for us to read together. It's called The Circle of Kindness. Again, The Circle of Kindness. And this book is by Beth Johnson, and the illustrations are by Mark Webber. And this book is really special in so many ways, not only because the ideas in it mean a lot to me, and I think they'll mean a lot to you too, but also because this is the first chapter book that you and I have read together. So that makes it special. So, you ready to have me read you the book? I know you are. Let's start. Chapter 1. Jasmine loved the beginning of school day. Every morning, she put her books neatly in her desk. She got her homework ready to hand in. Then she quietly read a book until it was time for class to begin. But one morning, Jasmine couldn't concentrate. She couldn't pay attention to her book. Derek was making way too much noise. He was talking loudly, spelling the same words over and over again. Finally, Jasmine said, "Derek, what are you doing? You're way too loud." Derek looked very unhappy. "I'm reviewing our spelling words," he said. "I forgot. We have a test today. I didn't study at all last night. I'm afraid I'll fail the test." And if you look closely at the picture, You'll see Jasmine trying so hard to read her book, but look how worried Derek looks. Look the way his eyebrows are all drawn together in a furrow. And if you really look closely at the book, you may even be able to see some beads of sweat, some perspiration on his forehead. That's how nervous and upset Derek is. Let's see what happens. Jasmine wanted to keep reading her book, but she saw how upset Derek was. She said, "Do you want me to help you review the words?" "Yes, please," Derek said. P-L-E-A-Z-E, please. That's on the list to study. Did I spell it right? No, it's P-L-E-A-S-E, Jasmine said nicely. Now, spell the word found. Jasmine helped Derek review the spelling words a few more times. Derek felt so much better. Thanks so much, Jasmine. When they took the test, Derek got almost all the words right. And here we have a picture of Derek and Jasmine doing a high five because Derek got through the test. And guess what? Can you see what score he got? You can say it out loud. That's right. He got almost all the words right. He got a 90%. There was one word that he had trouble spelling, and that was the word mean. The word mean. He spelt it M-E-E-N. Do you know how to spell the word mean? You can say it out loud, nice and loud. Let me hear you spell the word mean. Good for you. You spelled it M-E-A-N. Terrific. Let's go to the next page. Chapter 2. That week, the school cafeteria was closed for repairs. Everyone brought their lunch and ate in class. At noon, Derek got out his lunch bag. He opened it and smiled. There was a large turkey sandwich. There was a juice box. There was a big bunch of grapes. There was even a brownie. Yum! This is a great lunch, he thought. Then Derek looked over at Kendra, who seemed upset. Look at Derek. He is so hungry. He looks at his lunch and oh my gosh, it looks so delicious, so yummy. The turkey sandwich and the apple juice and the grapes and that gooey, delicious looking brownie. Now, look over at Kendra. Why do you think she is upset? You want to say out loud and tell me why you think she's upset, and then we'll turn the page and see? Okay, I heard what you had to say. Let's see if what you thought was true. I think I left my lunch box on the bus, Kendra said. Oh no, said Mrs. Hall. Well, don't worry. I have some cheese and crackers in my desk. Derek tried to concentrate on his delicious lunch, but then he remembered how kind Jasmine had been to him that morning. He raised his hand. I'll share my lunch with Kendra, he volunteered. I have more than I need. Thanks, Derek, said Kendra. You're the best. Oh, that was so generous. That was so kind of Derek. He really wanted to eat his lunch all by himself, but look what he did. He decided to share it with Kendra. Kendra is so relieved. She's no longer upset because now she has something much better than just the crackers and the cheese that Mrs. Hall offered her. She is going to share some of the yummy goodies that Derek brought to school for lunch. Now let's go to the next chapter, chapter 3. At recess, Kendra couldn't wait to play kickball. She ran out on the playground. She ran right past Victor, who was sitting on a bench. His arm was in a sling. He had hurt his wrist playing basketball the week before. Now he had to sit and watch all the other kids play. How do you think Victor feels not being able to play? All the other kids are running off and having a great deal of fun. And there's Victor with his arm in a sling, not being able to play. You know how he would feel, right? He feels upset. He feels sad. He maybe feels even a little bit angry. What do you think Kendra might do? Would you like to make a prediction? Would you like to take a guess? You can even say what you think out loud, nice and loud so I can hear you say it. Ah, interesting. Let's see what does happen. Victor looked sad and lonely, but Kendra really wanted to play kickball. Then she remembered how kind Derek had been when she forgot her lunch. "Hey, Victor," she said, "can I sit and watch the game with you?" Victor smiled, a great big smile. "Sure, that would be great," he said. The fun that Victor and Kendra are having together. That was so kind of Kendra. I mean, she really wanted to play kickball, but she knew that Victor would be so happy, would be so appreciative if she stayed with him so that he didn't feel kind of so sad and lonely and left out of all the activity. Look how much fun they're having together. Chapter 4. It was raining at the end of the day, so Victor hurried toward the bus so that he wouldn't get wet. Just ahead, he saw the strap break on Jasmine's book bag. The bag fell off her shoulder, spilling her books and papers all over the wet ground. Some older kids laughed and pointed at Jasmine. She looked embarrassed. Victor really wanted to get out of the rain. He was getting wet. Then he remembered how Kendra had been so kind to him during the recess. "I can help you, Jasmine," Victor volunteered. He helped Jasmine pick up her things. He joked with her and he made her laugh. She forgot all about the mean older kids and feeling embarrassed. I love this illustration. I think you will too. So look at that. Can you see the big older boys in the background? They're kind of looking at Jasmine in a teasing, mean fashion, not very friendly and nice at all. But Victor really goes out of her way to help Jasmine. It's raining out, he's getting wet, he has his arm in a sling, and there's even a possibility that the older mean boys will tease and pick on him the way they did with Jasmine. But you know what he does? Because he's got a kind, good heart, and because he remembers how kind Kendra was to him, he decides that he will return that kindness to Jasmine and help her. And oh my goodness, she must feel so much better. Just look at the expression on her face. Jasmine helped Derek. Derek helped Kendra. Kendra helped Victor. And Victor helped Jasmine. They didn't know it, but they made a circle that day. It was a circle of kindness. Kindness made everybody's day better. And why are they all smiling? In turn, each of them has a big, broad grin on their face. They're smiling because someone was kind to them and that made them feel good. And because they felt good by the kindness that they received, they also wanted to pass that kindness and caring on. And that also made them feel good, being kind to somebody else. So there are smiles on their faces for two reasons. Each King School kid felt good when they received kindness, and they also felt good and smiled to themselves when they passed that kindness along to someone else. So just the way a circle has no beginning and no end, it just goes round and round and round. That's the same thing with kindness. It never stops. One example leads to another example, which leads to another example, which leads to another example. And that's why this book is called The Circle of Kindness. I love this book. It makes my heart feel good. I hope it made your heart feel good too, and that you really enjoyed listening to the story. So I would like you to do something a little bit different today. I'd like you to close your eyes just for a minute, nice and tight. Don't open them until I tell you to. Okay? They nice and tight and closed right now? Good. While your eyes are closed, I'd like you to think about someone in your life, maybe a parent or a brother or a sister or a cousin or a relative or a neighbor or a friend, someone who's really important to you. Okay, have you thought of someone? Now, think of something kind and caring you could do over the next week for that person to show that they're deep in your heart and that you care about them. Maybe you think about your mom and how you could help her and show her that you care and be kind to her by helping her put away the groceries when she comes back from the market. Maybe you could show your little sister how much you care about her by letting her play with your new set of Legos. Or maybe you have an uncle who you haven't seen for a while and you really miss him and you know that he misses all of you too. Maybe you could give him a call and let him know that you do in fact miss him and love him. Okay? Now you can open your eyes. Good. I would like you to make a promise to yourself that over the next week, you will work really hard to do something kind and caring to the person that you pictured in your mind when your eyes were closed. In fact, to help make that promise to yourself come true, you might say out loud right now, I promise that over the next week, I will blank. Do you want to say that out loud? Good, I heard you. And to really help make that promise that you just made to yourself come true, you can draw a picture of yourself with a big, broad, happy smile on your face. And above your smiling face, draw a word bubble. And in that word bubble, you can write what you're going to say or do to the other person. And then beside your smiling face, you can draw another person, the person to whom you're going to say something kind and caring to. And that person is also smiling because it feels really good when somebody is kind to you. And then another thought bubble, another word bubble above that person's head, and you just have the word thank you in there. And then below the picture of your two smiling faces with your word bubbles, you can just simply write something like this. It feels good to be kind. So it might be something like this. You have the two faces smiling broadly. Above your face, you have what you're going to say and do that's kind and caring. And then you're going to have another smiling face of the person who receives your kindness and goodness. And that person's word bubble says, thank you. And then below it, the words, it feels good to be kind. So that's it. That's it for today. I bet you're going to have a really good time doing that drawing. I wish I could see all that you've created. So, boys and girls, today is going to be the last story that we're going to be reading together. I've had a wonderful time reading the King School stories to you. And I have a feeling that you've enjoyed our time together too. I hope that's the case. I hope you have a wonderful summer, and I hope even more that maybe someday in the future, I'll get a chance to really meet you face to face. Until then, it's bye-bye from Miss Judy.